What is up, people? So I'm gonna be streaming live on Mondays. I've made a decision, which means there's gonna be a stream tomorrow. But till I stream, I'm just gonna do these kinds of videos. So anyone who's going to attend the stream can get some practice. We're gonna look at some videos. We're gonna look at some arguments and try and spot fallacies. So this is my card for today. And there's gonna be one major update that's gonna come before the stream tomorrow, and y'all can guess what it's gonna be. But yeah, this is the card right now. Let's look at the videos. First video is comedian Pete Holmes. Now Pete Holmes is a very funny comedian. I love his Batman videos on YouTube, and I know what he's gonna say is part of a comedy set. It's not meant to be taken seriously. But for the sake of argument, for the sake of spotting fallacies, let's look at what he's saying. And it does sound like he's defending the argument some people make about God.
God created the universe. Some people think nothing created the universe, which is the funniest guess. And the nothing people make fun of the God people. They say God doesn't exist. I'm like, okay, maybe. But you know what definitely doesn't exist? Nothing.
Okay, so first thing we can spot there's a false equivalence. He is equating God to nothing. God definitely is an entity. Nobody would agree. No theist would agree if you say God is nothing. But let's keep watching.
That's the defining characteristic of nothing, is that it doesn't exist. So what are we talking about? Either you think it's God, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove, or you think it's not.
Untestable claim, but he isn't claiming that. But hey, that's what an untestable claim is. Now that I have this example here with me, I'm gonna mention it.
Nothing. Something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove.
See, what he's doing there is he's calling nothing something. He said something science can't prove. So nothing, the meaning of the word nothing is converted to something that can't be proven. That is, again, equivocation. I'm gonna mark equivocation, I'm gonna mark false equivalence, and I'm gonna mark untestable claim. Although untestable claim isn't a claim he's making, he's not making that argument, but we saw it, so we're gonna mark it. Hey, untestable claim is not there in my card.
But I think we can all agree, if your nothing sometimes spontaneously erupts into everything, that's a pretty goddamn magical fucking nothing, you guys.
Yeah, no physicist will claim that nothing created everything in the universe. We don't know what happened at the beginning of the universe. One strong theory we have is the Big Bang theory. But Big Bang is a singularity. None of our physical laws that we have right now tells us something we can understand about the initial moments of the universe. But it's illogical to immediately jump to the conclusion that it was God that did everything. So that's it for this video. And he also mentions that atheists say that God doesn't exist. There are atheists who say that, okay? But I think a much more rational way of answering that question is that I don't know. And that's what I say. I say I don't know what created the universe. And I think that's what he said. He was taking a more agnostic stance, and I agree. Agnostic atheism is a better way to go. So let's look at another video. We've got our favorite Hindu science minister talking about caste. Let's listen to what he's saying. Now, of course, this video is not really pseudoscience, but it's got an argument. So since we're playing spot the bullshit, let's look at the argument.
Caste is a part of Hindu society. Caste word is a Portuguese word.
Varna, jo hai.
Varna is a trait.
So because caste, the word is a Portuguese word, it suddenly doesn't become part of Hindu society. I mean, which country are you living in? It's part of the lived reality of so many people. Caste is part of the lived reality.
And other caste which you say, if you say the Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya and Shudra, they want to say. What Bhagwan Krishna has written in Gita? Chatur Varna Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagsha. Gun or Karma ke base on the basis.
then why is everyone born into their caste, and why are they bound to their caste by birth? Like if it's based on your abilities, why are people bound by birth to their caste?
Of your tendencies and other castes. They used to say Hindu society is having 6,000 castes. I urge, name a single Hindu text or religious book in the name of 6,000 castes. And who decided the hierarchy?
So if it's not there in any Hindu scripture, then we're shirking all responsibility. I mean, you are in power in Hindu society right now. I'm assuming you're a Brahmin. If caste is part of the lived reality of many people in this country, and it's not something you brought about, then why is it still there? You can get rid of it, right? You need not look at someone and say, hey, I'm not gonna touch you because my caste is higher than yours. You don't have to do that, right? But you're doing that. Many people experience that. So how would you explain that? So I will mark over here, appeal to tradition. It's very obvious why it's an appeal to tradition. And so when people talk about caste, they're not talking about how it's mentioned in the scriptures. They're talking about the lived reality of people. So if he's gonna change the topic to something else, that's a red herring fallacy. And that's it, I think. Nothing else that I can talk about here. If you do spot something else, hey, mention that in the comments.
Mali unche ke teli unche ke lohar unche ke sonar unche. Who decided this? You cannot show any Hindu text. These are the professions. These are not the caste. Kumhar, Sunar, Badhai, Lohar, these are the professions. These are not the caste. Then, who decided this? A British census commissioner, his name was Herbert Risley, who has under 1861 the census started, and in 1901 he divided the Hindu society.
Again, if it's not there in any Hindu text, then you can't blame it on us. That's what he's saying. And yeah, to that I'd say, yeah, if you have nothing to do with this and you don't agree with the caste system either, sure, don't practice it in your life. Let's see that. Let's see you doing that.
To caste, 2,378 castes. Then keep on increasing castes. In 1931, the last caste census done by British is having 4,114 castes. Now it is, during time of Mandal, it was considered 5,000 castes. Now it is more than 6,000 castes. मैं कहता हूँ है कहाँ caste ये तो बता दो.
That's it for the video. Let's look at the next one.
This is rice bran. It is dry. How do you make oil out of it? Soak it in neurotoxic hexane. Pass it through an oil refinery and into your chipotle bowl.
Clearly, that was fear-mongering, and even the imagery and the words being said and the neurotoxic hexane was clearly fear-mongering. Let's actually look this up and let's see if rice bran oil is something that has any hexane in it. I'm gonna Control F. Hexane. There's no hexane anywhere in the page. Wait, I'm gonna show you that. Hexane I've typed in the search bar. It's not there anywhere in the page. And okay, I'm sure Wikipedia would mention its manufacturing process. Let's look at the health research on it. Rice bran oil has been found to decrease total cholesterol. If it's really that toxic, there must be some research mentioned on this. Why don't I Google this too? Just search rice bran oil safety. Let's look at Farm Easy. Let's Control F for hexane. There's no hexane anywhere on this page. But see, people should consult doctor before using it in large quantities. Like I always said, rice bran oil is just another fat compound. It's got unsaturated fats. There are no trans fats. In moderation, anything. Let's say if you have a fried item fried in this once in a while, it's completely safe. I don't want to say completely safe because people are gonna take that as an extreme. It's safe to consume in moderation. My God, I just read this and I'm not sure I can trust this site anymore. They're mentioning replace it with Ayurveda. Yeah, I'm not gonna. But I don't see any significant reason to discard even slight quantities of rice bran oil. Anything large quantities is always bad. Any oil in large quantities is bad for sure. But in small quantities, if you want to eat a packet of chips, let's say once in a week, and if it's fried in rice bran oil, I don't see the problem because you're having it in moderation and think it's fine. I've not seen any reason to discard. Let's look at the next video. Astrophysicist figures this out while studying the Bible.
18 months, 1 or 2 hours a night, studying the Bible. And when I finally got to Revelation 22, I realized I'd not been able to find a single provable error or contradiction. And I found over 200 places where the Bible accurately predicted future scientific discovery.
I'm not very sure this is even legit. This sounds like some AI faking it, but single provable thing hasn't been found. How about, I think there's a verse that actually says, this is something I can think off the top of my head. I think there is a verse that says the smallest seed is the mustard seed, which is clearly demonstrably wrong. What's he saying? There's not a single provable scientific discovery. And who is this person? Not mentioned anywhere. It just says he's an astrophysicist. Tell me his name. I'm looking at all the comments over here. But okay.
I still remember the night. It was like 1 in the morning. I went through a calculation. What's the probability that these Bible authors could have predicted all these scientific discoveries accurately without...
Okay, before he tells us the probability, see, probability is usually calculated by saying the number of times a particular event occurs divided by the number of times any event occurs. And I'm not sure how he would have calculated those numbers to arrive at an answer. So what is the probability of a miracle that he claims happened?
The God of the universe inspiring them to write what they wrote. And that probability was less than 1 chance in 10 to the 300 power.
How the hell did you calculate that? How on earth did you calculate that? Oh, wait, there's a comment right here mentioning contradictions in the Bible. God cannot be tempted. Jesus was tempted. Jesus was seen. No man has ever seen God. But
and I was weak. My physics professor gave us an assignment to calculate the probability that one of us in the class would be killed by a sudden reversal of the second law of thermodynamics. That probability is 1 chance in 10 to the 80th, which is so small, no one needs to worry about ever being killed by a reversal of the second law of thermodynamics. But I had just proved to myself that the message of the Bible was 10 to the 220 times more reliable.
It said pastor someone right there on screen. But again, I don't know if he's an actual astrophysicist.
And the second law of thermodynamics.
Again, how did you make any of those calculations? That's what I want to know. I unfortunately did not get bingo. Oh, by the way, did you notice it's a 6x6 grid? It's gonna get a lot more prettier tomorrow. But guess what the change is gonna be? But yeah, but that's it. See you in the stream.